Let me ask you a question. When you started in the industry, how did you come up with your service prices? Where did your initial prices come from? Believe it or not, a lot of stylists don't even know why they charge the prices that they do. And if you're one of those stylists, after today's video, you're gonna have a lot more clarity about what you should be charging and why you should be charging it. First, I'm going to make a few suggestions about a few additional services that I think every hairstylist should consider adding to their service menus. This way you can ensure that you're not sabotaging your earning potential. Second, I'm going to explain why you can't even begin to start setting your prices when you don't have a clear vision of your services themselves, the exact timing for each and every one, what it costs to provide those services, and what the running costs are for your business. I'll even break it down for you so that you can figure out these numbers for yourself. And last, I'll show you how to come up with the standard base price for all of your services. Then I will touch on 3 additional factors to take into consideration when deciding on your perfect price point. And I'll tell you about a really cool website where you can do additional research on the best price point for your business. So let's get started. Did you know that there are usually only 2 main reasons that a client will leave their stylist? Inefficiency and time management. Time is the most precious commodity that we have. So if you are not respecting your client's time, it could be a major factor in the reason that you might be struggling to retain more of your clients. Which is why I think that after looking over your services, you should really consider adding some of these additional services to your menu. By adding these additional services, it doesn't only help you with managing your time, but it also allows you to be compensated for the time that it takes you to complete your work. These services that I'm about to tell you can be used in a variety of ways. Let's take this service, for example, and we'll call it Worth the Wait. This is a 15-minute service, which can be used as an additional time block for those clients who are notorious for showing up late. Now, before you freak out thinking that there's no way that you can charge your client simply for being late, hear me out. First of all, I'm sure you've heard the phrase that time is money. And the reason why we've all heard that phrase before is because it's a completely true statement. Our time is money, and it needs to be treated as such. And there needs to be a respect factor there as well. Now, that being said, the wrong way to look at this is if it's some type of a punishment for your clients. Because really what this is actually doing is protecting your time for your other guests who do show up on time to their appointments. No guests who are scheduled later in your day should have to wait because the client who was scheduled to come in before them didn't show up to their appointment on time. Adding this in as an option will help those always late guests learn that if they don't want to pay the additional charge, it's no worries. They just need to make sure to show up to their appointment on time. Does that make sense? So instead, think of this as a schedule management tool, because you have to require your clients to respect your time so that it doesn't affect your ability to respect theirs. Because guess what? If they run late, so do you. Some of the other services that you could include are the XXL, which is a 15-minute time block for extra application timing. This is great for those clients who have a ton of hair and it always makes you run behind. Then we have the Just 5 More Minutes, which is also a 15-minute time block where you can book additional processing time for those clients who just end up taking a little bit longer than usual to process. And then we also have All the Perks, which is also another 15-minute block of time, which is great for booking extended styling time. So for those clients who either have a ton of hair and it takes you a lot longer to style them out, or they just want an extended style after their service. And after going over your entire menu and settling on what services you offer, now what you need to do is make sure to go over how much time it takes you to do each and every service. And when it comes to your service timing, the way that I like to think of it is in 3 parts. So when you're breaking it down, you want to think of part one as the service. So this is where you would welcome your client, get them seated, maybe do their consultation. You could formulate their color, mix it up, and then actually apply it. Okay. So, or if you're doing a haircut, I would just include, the shampoo part. I wouldn't actually include the cut part yet. Part two is what I call processing, and that would be, just basically the processing time. So any service that you offer that requires any downtime, like color services, deep conditioning treatments, those would be in this category. And you want to come up with how much processing time you need. And remember to be really specific with this because, I'm sure certain services, the timing will change depending on what you're doing. So keep that in mind when you create this time block. You can do it like as a 15-minute time block and as a 30-minute time block if you need to. Part three is I call finishing, and this is where you would do the shampoo and the blow dry style, or the cut and blow dry style if there's no color, or if there is color, same thing. It's important to know how much your time costs so you're not leaving money on the table, or worse, working for free. So go through your service menu and record how much time you need for every service that you offer, and break it up into those three categories, the service, the processing, and then the finishing time. That way you can see how much time it takes you for each service. And hey, my name is Madison, and if you are interested in learning how you can build a successful and sustainable business as an independent hairstylist, make sure that you're subscribed to this channel and go click that bell notification at the bottom of the screen so that you can make sure you're notified every single time that I release a new video just like this one. Next, you also need to know what your cost is for providing each one of your services. This is going to be for those services where you actually have to use product, for example. So in order to do this, what you need to do is actually calculate what your standard product costs are for each service. So what you're going to want to do is make a list of all the services which require you to use product. Then you want to go through each and every one of those services and jot down how much product is the standard amount that you need to do each and every service. And then last, we'll calculate how much it costs you to use that product. So let's just say that you have one bottle of developer and it costs you $8 to purchase it, okay? And that bottle of developer has 819 grams of solution per bottle, okay? Then you have a box of color, okay? That one box of color costs you $10 and it has 80 grams of color in it per box. So for a standard root touch-up, that requires, let's say, 40 grams of color and 60 grams of developer. So we know that 40 grams of color divided by 80 grams of color in the box is 2. So therefore, you're able to get 2 root touch-ups out of one box of color purchased. One box purchased at $10. So now we know that you can get one touch-up and it costs you $5 to perform that service. We also know that 60 grams of developer divided by 819 grams in the bottle is about 13. So you're able to get 13 applications out of one developer purchased at $8. So we know that one root touch-up has a cost of about $1.63 for you to perform that service. But I would honestly just round that up to an even 2 just to make everything a lot easier for yourself. But after doing that, now you know that it's $5 for the color, $2 for the developer. So it's about $7 worth of product for you to do a root touch-up on one guest, okay? So that's what I think you need to do for every single thing. And this is really good too because it'll also let you know what your standard amounts are for each one, so that you're, not charging if you use more, or you know what I mean, like you're able to make sure you don't you're not gypping yourself with your product. So then after we establish our service timing and your cost of product, then you need to calculate what the running cost is for your business, okay, which is a little bit separate from that part. So this is going to be like your overall monthly budget, which includes like all of your expenses such as your rent, your marketing, your taxes, your utilities, cleaning supplies, insurance, etc. Whatever it takes for you to run your business, okay? So I'm going to give you an example of how this works. So let's say you're paying a yearly rent of $14,440. Your yearly supplies are costing you $3,600. Your marketing costs you $1,200, and then your insurance costs you $1,000 a year. You would have a running cost of $20,200 per year. Next, we need to find out what your total working time is every single month. So this would be where you are available to see your clients. Okay, so we need to calculate how much time that is every month. So let's say you're open 10 hours a day, Tuesday through Saturday, and you're working about 16 days, okay, a month. What you would do is you would take the 10 hours and times it by 16 days to get 160 hours. Then we need to calculate the running costs per minute. So the basic formula here is you're going to take your running costs per year and divide it by 12 months, giving you approximately $1,683 per month. Then you're going to divide that by your total monthly working hours, which is 160, giving you $10.52. Then you're going to divide that by 60, and that's going to give you 17 cents, but we're going to round that up to the nearest quarter, making that 25 cents for your running cost per minute. So how do we put this all together? So let's break it down using the numbers from our previous calculations, assuming that for the sake of this one, that hair color and other products cost the $7 total, and that the whole job took you 2 hours to complete. So let's figure out what the base price is. So you're going to take that 25 cents and you're going to times it by 120 minutes, which gives us $30. We're going to add our $7 of product in there for $37. And then we're going to times that by 2, which is $74. So that would be your actual base, like standard price. But I wouldn't stop here. This is really just your standard. Now that you have laid the foundation, and you're going to do that for all of your services, remember, now it's time to establish your perfect price point. And in order to determine your service pricing, I want you to take into consideration 3 main factors. Number 1 would be the area where you do business. 2 would be the level of interest or need that you have. So, in other words, how booked up are you? And 3rd would be like the conveniences that you offer to your guests. So do you go like above and beyond and offer more than just like the standard water, coffee, and tea? Those 3 things are going to be the next step in setting your prices. If you are booked up, more than 2 to 3 weeks in advance, you could add, $5 to $15 to all of your base prices. If you offer an array of amenities, add, $5 to $10 more to your base prices. And if you work in a more like affluent area, you could add anywhere from like $5 to $20 to your base prices. And one last resource I want to tell you guys about that you can go check out is called citydata.com. And there you can find like estimated household medians for whatever location it is that you do business in. And that way, you can go over that and kind of, compare it to what you're thinking of pricing yourself out at. And don't forget to look at your local competitors as well, just to see how you're measuring up against them as well. All right, so this is pretty much as far as I'm going to take you. I hope that I gave you a lot of things to think about so that you can calculate what your perfect price point is for your business, because honestly, there's really no one size fits all here. But hopefully you can take everything that I've just said into consideration to find something that is fair and reasonable and works beautifully with your business. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.